Hello and welcome to our presentation. Today we're going to talk about marketing methods that get results. Let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. My name is Aubree Karlin and I am a digital marketing specialist here at NexTech. I've been here almost 11 years.
And I'm Becky Howland and I've been here about 17 years. I'm a lead marketing specialist here at NexTech.
It's a long time.
Yes,
you combine the two of them. You might be asking, what is NexTech? So Becky, will you tell us a little bit about that?
Of course. So we are a Kansas-based telecommunications company. We have a marketing agency side where we've served almost, I would say, 50 telco clients throughout the years, and we help them through their marketing plans.
Awesome. Alrighty. Let's move along to today's topic. We're really going to focus in on the customer journey. You've probably heard about this before. Some people call it the funnel. It's ultimately a journey that your customers take. And today we're going to very specifically focus on the telco customer journey. So this is all about what works for us and our clients, and hopefully for you all as well that are watching. So there are 5 steps to this customer journey. First one is awareness, then interest, purchase, retention, and advocacy. So we're going to go through all of those today. So let's just dive right in. So Becky, can you tell us about the awareness phase?
Of course, and we'll also dive into some examples too while we go, right? So,
love it.
Yeah, so the first stage, as Aubree said, is the awareness stage. So this is when your customers aren't even customers yet. They're strangers, right? Like they don't know who you are. They might be new to the area. They've probably never heard of you. So this is a stage where brand awareness is extremely important, and I cannot stress that enough. So you've got to do a lot of brand awareness. Hit them with those 7 touches. And what we mean by that is don't just do one Facebook ad and call it good. That's not enough. You've got to hit them with different mediums at different times, through different methods, at least 7 times before they're going to start recognizing that brand.
For sure.
So the CTA on that is going to be like, learn more about us, do it with some video views, different things that showcase your company.
For sure. So let's get into some examples, some methods that we use when working on awareness. So going through the list, the first thing that we try to implement is Google Display and Google Video campaigns. These are both very cost-effective, easy ways to start.
For sure.
On that same topic is social media ads. Our favorites are Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat, and we've got an example from Facebook.
We definitely do, from Glenwood, one of our clients here. Thank you.
So here's that example from our client Glenwood. This is just kind of a brand awareness type Facebook campaign. They were moving into a new town with a fiber overbuild.
Yeah, this is a town that hasn't heard of them before. They acquired this town. So again, like we were talking about, brand awareness on this campaign was very important.
For sure. Some other methods you can use are direct mails. Everybody loves a good direct mail. I know it's not the cheapest form of advertising anymore, but everybody checks their mail. So.
Yeah, and it definitely has an impact on the overall campaign. I know, like you said, a lot of people don't like to spend that money on a direct mail, but it will make a difference.
For sure. There are other print methods. We're going to show you a door hanger. So Becky, tell us about this door hanger from CATC.
Yes, this company's out of Arkansas, just building a new fiber area, and we felt it was really important as an additional touch to use plastic bags on these door hangers. And with this insert inside, it's nice front and back, printed on nice glossy cardstock. And then this also gave them opportunity to stuff in an extra notepad, pen to go along with it. If they had any additional information, they could certainly include that in there as well. But it gives some information about the overall project, who they are, why they want fiber. So it's a great brand awareness piece.
I love door hangers. Okay, moving on to press releases. This is, I think, an underutilized method that doesn't cost a lot.
I would agree. Don't underestimate the power of a press release. It's not like the fanciest thing you're ever going to see, but there is a demographic out there that these reach, and you can utilize your local chambers to help get them out. You can utilize all sorts of different media outlets to help with press release. It's great brand awareness.
Yeah, it's a lot of times news places are looking for stories like this. So if you can give it to them, and they've got some free journalism, win-win for everyone.
For sure.
So good old press releases. Last, we want to talk about Chamber of Commerce and utilizing networking, things like Partnering with realtors and contractors have also brought some good success for us and for our clients. I also want to talk about welcome kits and ribbon cuttings. Welcome kits we've used a lot. You know, think about the type of person that might be a new customer for you. They're probably moving. They're moving into your town or moving to another house. So if there is an entity in your community that is doing a welcome kit, for us it's our local City of Hayes. They send kits to people whenever they move into town. We stick our coupons in there, you know, and it makes their choice a little bit easier when they're trying to choose a provider.
Yeah, definitely. It's a great opportunity, and it really doesn't cost us a whole lot.
Absolutely. So, all right, let us move on to the interest phase.
Yes, so interest phase. This is when these are your acquaintances. So they don't quite know you yet, but they're not a stranger anymore. They've at least heard the name of your company.
A little familiar.
Yes. So this is a stage where they're a little bit warmer, they're a little bit getting more familiar.
Down the funnel.
Yes,
they're
smaller. Starting to show a little bit of interest, but they're not quite there and ready to make that purchase quite yet. So the objective here is to continue with that brand awareness, still very important to keep that going. Get the traffic to your website, maybe get them to fill out a form on your website, show that next stage, and then get them to start engaging with social media posts, anything you might have out there on Instagram or Facebook. And then your CTA here, learn more still about our products and services. Or maybe shop now even. You might push them over the edge to that next stage.
Yep.
Or send them a message. This is a good way to utilize chat boxes or automated messages.
Yep. So make sure you give them what they need to get to the purchase stage. That's kind of the whole idea. But first, we'll talk about the interest category. So let me go one more slide. So we'll talk about methods to get people to the interest phase.
Yeah.
So first thing I want to mention is Google search campaigns. These are a little bit more expensive than Google display campaign, but this is for warmer leads. Imagine somebody is typing, internet, Hayes, Kansas. We want to make sure that our NexTech listing is at the very top of those results. So I think that's why search is very powerful.
Yeah, and important to note too that it's different than display in a sense that display is used a little bit more for a specific campaign, whereas search is more of an ongoing thing that you want to keep doing.
Yes, definitely. I think for us and most of our clients, search campaigns are always set as ongoing. Under that topic, we also want to talk about SEO, which is search engine optimization. That could be a whole entire PowerPoint by itself.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's important just to kind of keep in mind that your website is a living, breathing thing. Let's talk about dedicated landing pages. I think we have an example from MissouriCom, one of our clients in Missouri. So this is a web page. We printed out here. So this is their fiber landing page. They're building fiber to a town called Vandalia, and so this is just kind of your typical fiber landing page. Check availability for your address. Kind of goes into why fiber and talks about why people would need it, the benefits of it, and then also they go into TV service because they don't offer standard digital TV. They if you click the click here button, it will take you to one of those pages that kind of talk about Hulu and Netflix and all the other places where you can stream, and then why fiber plays into that. So having a dedicated landing page for your business, for your services, whatever you're doing, is really important.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note how easily they made it for customers to navigate through their page with the easy to read buttons and the way they separated it out in sections. I like that.
Yep, you gotta keep the journey in mind. Don't ever send somebody to a page where there isn't a button that takes them to sign up. Don't ever give them a dead end. That's
for
important. Okay, talking about optimizing your website for user experience, we want to make sure that it has easy navigation, there are clear descriptions, and that you do list prices. I know some people are afraid of putting prices on their website, but I'm telling you, people are looking for it. So if you're not putting it out there, your competitors probably are, and it makes it a little bit easier for somebody to choose.
And if you don't have it out there, the buyer might get a little frustrated and just move on to somebody else.
Where the information is easily available. So also, you want to make sure that your website is accessible and it's also responsive for mobile. And then also, we want to talk a little tiny bit about setting up chat functions, maybe utilizing chat bots or automated messages. So this example here on our table is something we're using for a client. And these are what we call frequently asked questions. So when somebody opens a Facebook chat with this company, the user is going to going to be presented with 2 questions. One of those is, I would like to learn more about your products. Do you have a website? And then our automated response is yes. So you can click here to go to our hillcom.net website and learn more. The other question is, I'm having an issue with my internet, phone, or TV service, which if any of you manage your own Facebook pages, this is a very common question. So if somebody clicks this button, they're getting an automatic response that tells them how to get tech support. So this takes a lot of time off of the social media manager person.
Yeah.
So that's really great. So I have loved using automated responses on my Facebook page.
Very convenient for you and for the customer. I like it.
They're getting their answer as quick as they possibly can. So love it. The next thing we want to talk about is writing and updating website content and doing blog posts. This is something I know can be a little bit time consuming, but making sure that your website is up to date is a really important thing to do. Also want to talk about utilizing reviews and testimonials. We're going to talk about an example here, again, for our own NexTech fiber project in a town called Great Bend. So this is a Facebook campaign where we are showing a video testimonial from a local business owner, and he's important to the community, right?
Oh yeah, he owns an office supply store, and everybody in the community knows who he is. He's lived there for forever, so he was very powerful for us to get on as a testimonial, and he has fiber at his home and at his business, so he had different angles to look at it and give that perspective.
Yep. Very powerful. And lastly, we want to talk about retargeting. I know this is really hot right now, and this can be accomplished through Google Display, video ads, and also social media utilizing Facebook and Instagram. So we've all been shopping on the internet, right? And you know, let's say you're shopping for a pair of pants, and then you leave that website, and then you start seeing ads for that same pair of pants, right? That's
every time.
That's retargeting. I know it's a little creepy, but we're used to it by now. We almost expect it, I think. This is an example of retargeting from one of our clients called Rainbow Communications. They're out in eastern Kansas. So basically what happens here is if somebody has visited the Rainbow website, they are then delivered this campaign seeing ads similar to this across the internet and in a Google Display campaign. So awesome. Successful. Alrighty, let's move on to the next step of purchase.
Yes, so in the purchase phase, these customers are now your friends. They like what they see and they are ready to move forward. So with that, make sure you get them to choose your company though and not the competitor. So that's where you want to keep going with your advertising. Make sure that you are choosing a method that works for them. Very important. You know, don't do a newspaper ad for a 20-year-old. That's not going to work. So make sure you're pushing out those methods out there to get them to purchase so that the right person sees the right ad. Whether it's online, making a phone call, make sure those options are available. In this stage, you are going to get them to shop now, sign up now, start that chat, initiate the conversation.
Yep, get them to that next step of becoming a customer. So some methods that we use in the purchase phase are listed here. I want to talk specifically about your website, phone, and then in-store methods. So starting with the website, make sure that you set up an online form or shopping carts. The next level here is to use abandoned cart campaigns. We'll show you an example from our own NexTech website. And this is kind of how we are utilizing the abandoned cart stuff. So when somebody comes to our website and is shopping for services, whether it be internet, TV, whatever, they are taken to this pop-up box, and it asks for their first name, their last name, and their email address, and they can click the red button, and then they can continue shopping, and then they put things in their cart, and they're shopping for our services, and it's great. And then let's say they don't quite complete the sign-up, and they go to another website. We then have captured their information, meaning that we can send them emails and saying, hey, you forgot about us, like come back to your cart, here's a button to pick back up and purchase those things that you put in your cart. So this is something we've been doing for a little while. I did check the stats yesterday, and so just for 2020, so we are almost 3 months into this year, we have had 30 saves.
Which is pretty great, you know, considering once the setup is, you know, ready to go, it doesn't really take a lot of time or extra money. It's already set up, it's already running.
Exactly. Love it. Love the evergreen stuff. The other thing with the website is make sure that it is as easy and as painless as possible for the shopper. I hear it all the time that they don't, we don't want people to sign up online. We want them just to call us. No, that's not what your customer wants to do.
Yeah, that might be what you want.
It's what you want them to do.
But you have to do what the customer wants.
Absolutely. I think the other thing here is to test your experience. You might think you have this great, beautiful, highly functioning website, but if you send it to somebody that maybe doesn't know your industry or doesn't know your website inside out, they might find some pain points and maybe some pages that don't, end the way that with a call to action button or whatever. So send it to somebody out of state, a relative. Don't send it to your employees. They understand telco. They speak our lingo. So make sure that you're sending it to someone who represents your potential customers to test the full experience.
For sure.
Let's talk a little bit about phone methods. So we want to make sure that you have short wait times and that you have soft hold music. Don't annoy them with obnoxious things. And then also make sure that when they do get to talk to someone on the phone, that it is a real, pleasant, and sales-oriented person. I know we utilize some secret shopper stuff, so just make sure that whoever they talk to is at least pleasant and smiles, because they can hear it in your voice, right? So there's some things to keep in mind for the phone. And then in-store methods, think about the temperature, the lighting, the music, the ambiance, the color, scent, lobby, what your storefront looks like, your curb appeal, your signage, all very important. I know some of our customers, they come to us with some outdated stuff, and I understand it, but piece by piece, we got to get it updated.
It all goes together, and it all fits within that image that the customers put together themselves.
That how they view you. I think in that topic, we also want to talk about uniforms and vehicle wraps. So uniforms, we've got some fun hats.
Yeah, so like Aubree mentioned, not only do you want your signage and your materials to match, but you want your people to match. So why not, with these examples here, why not have your technicians wear all the same ball caps, or maybe or maybe all the same polo shirts, so they all have that nice uniform look.
Yep, and Moundridge did a really good job of that here with their hats, so I think these are fun. All right, we'll just stay right here and talk about vehicle wraps. This is another one of our clients, Rainbow Communications. I think we already mentioned them.
I love this one.
I love this one. It's a big old van. It's with their new logo and their new colors. And wraps like these can be a little pricey, I get that, but this is a giant moving billboard that is in the community all day, every day, where you're trying to sell your services. So I think this is kind of underutilized. A lot of companies just slap the logo on the door and call it good, but there's a lot of real estate here with a lot of your vehicles in your fleet. So,
and it doesn't matter how many times people have seen it, it's going to catch their eye every single time.
Yes, yep. Alrighty, so let's move on to the next phase and talk about retention.
So yeah, in the retention stage, these people have now become your best friends. They're better than just friends, they're best friends. So this is where they are going to start, start kind of spreading the word, but you don't want them to think that you have forgotten about them, because they are still important. I've seen with companies that sometimes when they get that customer, they just kind of like let them live in the billing system and
take them for granted.
Yeah, they take them for granted, and you can't do that. You have to remind those customers you still appreciate having their business, and you have to reward them every once in a while. This could be done by completing a survey, or maybe you give them a reward coupon every once in a while, some sort of method like that. I know we have some examples to show.
Yeah, let's talk about some fun ideas. So there are kind of 3 points to this. I want to talk about the follow-up. So make sure that you're sending emails with surveys, or have your CSRs call to follow up at key points throughout the customer journey. Some examples of when those points could be are after the install day, after 1 month of service, after 6 months of service, whenever they add a new service, or especially if there's a trouble ticket performed. That kind of helps keep them keep an eye on your technicians in a way, just to see how things are going there. So this is an email example that we send out to our customers throughout those points. And this is how it appears in their inbox. And so they get kind of buttons here with all the numbers on it, so they can rank their satisfaction between 0 and 10. And when they click these, they're taken to a website where they can complete a survey.
Yeah, they can kind of give a great experience or a bad experience, and it's going to trigger something on the back end for us. So on the bad experience ones, hopefully you don't see too many of those, but if we do, it is automatically triggered to the CSRs, where they can do follow-up calls and follow up why that was a bad experience. In the end, hopefully turn it into a good experience. You know, and then on the good ones, you could always utilize those for marketing efforts down the road.
Yep. Well, smart surveys, I like to call those.
Yes.
So that's how ours are set up. If they do give us good ratings, if they are happy, it routes them to a link, a page with links on it that go to our Google business review links and then Facebook recommendations. So it's a good way for us to kind of weed out the good and the bad and make sure everybody's happy.
For sure.
So we also want to make sure that we're celebrating service anniversaries. So that's acknowledging their loyalty to your company. Very important. That's the whole idea here. So you want to make sure that you send them a special thank you note, a small gift if possible, or a service credit. So this is an example for our annual survey, right?
Yeah, so we actually send these out monthly. We send them to people who hit their, we call it anniversary date, of the date they first signed up with us. So if they signed up in March, they're going to get their survey every year in March. But this is a great way for us to ask more in-depth questions on how their service is going. You know, just because a customer has been with you for 10 years doesn't mean that their service is still dandy. You know, they might be having some issues recently, but they just haven't called in to tell you about it.
The router might be old and they're having problems and they think it's your fault, but it's just the router.
So this gives your customers an outlet to go out to and put that comment, and then it gives us a chance as well to follow up on those, just like we did on the other survey.
Yep, and they get their $5 bill credit.
Exactly.
Yep.
You got to have those incentives. You know, they don't have to cost a whole lot, but they really do help on response rates.
We have like a really high response rate on those, right?
Yeah, I would say anywhere from 10 to 20%, depending on the month.
Really good for
It is.
surveys. Last thing is to host events, talking about customer appreciation events, things like picnics, free movies, pool bashes, concerts, that kind of thing. I know we're living in a COVID world, so virtual is an option as well. So this is an example from one of our other clients, LTC Connect, and they were doing some live giveaways, right?
Yeah, they did a really good job of utilizing Facebook Live during the pandemic last year. They didn't get to have their in-person annual meeting, so they decided to do this instead. As you can see, they featured their prizes each day. They had a fun little countdown so people could see when it started.
Cool.
I really like what they did with this. They had a lot of viewership on it. Their customers loved it. I saw a lot of fun comments on their Facebook page. So it was just a really great way for them to give back to their customers.
Love it. Alrighty, let us move on to the last phase, which is advocacy.
So in the advocacy stage, they actually become family. This is when they are ready to tell everyone about you because they love what you're doing. They love the way you treat them. So when people have a really great experience, they're more likely to go out and tell people about it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I like to equate this to like on Facebook when, let's say somebody on Facebook posts, looking for recommendations for a washer and dryer. Mine just gave out.
Yeah.
If you look at the comments on those types of posts from your friends, there's sometimes hundreds of comments, people out there raving.
Isn't it crazy?
I love my blah blah brand washer and dryer because you want your friend to have a good experience also. So this is kind of where this comes into play. If people are asking for recommendations on the best internet provider in town, we want to make sure that they're saying your name, of course, and then rewarding them. So.
And this is a point where they're more likely to go out there and give you a positive review or maybe even take advantage of referring their friends to you. So implement a refer a friend program, and we have some examples for that as well.
Examples. All right. So yes, asking for online reviews. You can do that on Facebook, Google, Yelp, etc. There's lots of places where people can review you. Again, using those smart surveys to segment. We kind of already talked about that. So you can weed out the good from the bad, and then start a program to reward those good reviews, recommendations, or those that defend you publicly. And what I mean by that is if somebody goes out there and they say, I'm having trouble with my NexTech internet today. They stink. And let's say one of our other customers comments and says, oh, well, maybe you should call our help desk. Like mine works great. We want to reward that person. That's not a testimonial necessarily, but that's the next best thing is somebody sticking up for you. So that's what I mean by that one. But this is an example here that we do as well. So when people review us on Facebook or Google, we go get their customer information and send them a postcard. So this is the front of the postcard. It says thank you, has a little NexTech logo on it. And then on the back, there's a little handwritten note. and we write their name and their address and put a stamp on it, and we give them a $5 coupon thanking them for reviewing us online. So it doesn't cost us a lot.
No.
Once we get this designed and printed, it's really fairly automatic after that. So.
Well, and it gives the appearance that you have put forth a little bit of extra effort to show your appreciation to that customer, and it's a little touches like that mean a lot.
Absolutely. The other thing that we do too on the internet side of it, when people do review us, I comment back and say, thanks for the good review. Keep an eye on your mailbox for an extra special thank you from us.
Yeah.
They get this in the mail. But the other thing of that too is that if people are looking at those comments, other customers, they might say, ooh, I want a thank you in the mail also, so I'm going to give them a review too. So that's a fun tip. Also, make sure that you are identifying customers for testimonials. This could be video or written. Use that survey data that we've been talking about, and then also you get some bonus points if you use a well-known or influential person. That's the example we have here. This is a NexTech campaign we ran for Cloud Phone, and you might not recognize Robert Riedel, but in Hayes, he owns the largest brokerage of real estate agents. So he's pretty well known in our community, his name and his face. So when he has great things to say about NexTech Cloud Phone, we want to make sure to go film him saying those great things and then put it in an ad so that people around here say, hey, I know Robert. If he loves his NexTech Cloud Phone, then maybe I should try it for my small business.
And it doesn't always have to be the individual that's well known. Maybe it's the company or business that you helped out.
Right.
So we got Fort Hays State University on our Cloud Phone, and that was a huge testimonial for us as well.
Yep, absolutely. Last thing on the list here is to start a Refer a Friend program. There are lots of different ways to do this. I know we've worked with many clients that have tried different methods. So we have one example here again from Moundridge. So this is a little card that I think was perforated, right?
Yeah, so this is used as a bill insert. Sorry, I'll get it to show up on there. So it was used as a bill insert, and it was two-sided, so this is actually both sides. But it told them a little bit about how they can refer a friend. They can get a $50 credit every time they do so. And then the backside made it easy for them to tear apart the cards, hand them out to their friends. You could also utilize an online option. It doesn't take very long to set it up and have some automated emails sent out. So if you wanted to go refer me, you could go out there, punch in my name and email address, hit submit, and it's going to go ahead and send me an email and says, Aubree referred you to NexTech Services. So there's all kinds of methods you could utilize to make that happen, but I think refer a friends are very powerful because, I mean, you listen to your friends, right?
Absolutely. That's the whole message, advocacy.
Yep.
Alrighty, I'll move this over here. So this is kind of the wrap-up point. I know we talked about a lot of stuff, very surface level. I think the idea here is just to kind of lay the roadmap.
Sure.
And talk about what you can do, and maybe just some ideas to start with. Again, there are 5 steps: awareness, interest, purchase, retention, and advocacy. I do want to mention that I think it's important when you implement this for your company, you don't have to go in order. You don't have to start with awareness and interest. It might be best for you to start at the advocacy or retention phase. Maybe it's a good thing for you to, thank your loyal customers and make sure that they're not being taken for granted before you talk about awareness and interest and purchase and adding more people into the mix. So,
yeah, or maybe the objective is that you're building fiber to an existing territory and your customers already know you. So you're kind of like starting in the middle of that, that stage. So it's totally okay, like you said, to skip around as needed depending on what the project is.
Yep, and what's easiest for you to accomplish first. So those are the 5 steps we wanted to share with you today. This is just kind of wrapping up here. First, we want to say thank you all for listening to us today. Hopefully we shared something valuable with you. If you have any questions, how do they reach us?
So we do have our email addresses listed here, so feel free to reach out to us anytime through email. You can also learn more at our website at nextech.com/advertising. We have a whole bunch of information out there, some portfolios if you'd like to see some of our work. But again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
Yeah, and if we've got a few minutes left here, Becky is going to jump on live for the Q&A and answer a couple of your burning questions.
That's right.
So, thank you all, and hopefully we'll see you again.